They say it's normal, that after 60, things just don't work the same down there. But what if that normal decline you've been told to accept isn't actually your fate? What if one of the biggest reasons your manhood isn't as responsive as it used to be has nothing to do with aging and everything to do with what you eat within the first hour of waking up? Here's something no one talks about. Every morning, your arteries are at a turning point. Blood flow is sluggish. Nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels, is at its lowest, and oxidative stress is quietly rising. This is the moment when your body either sets the tone for strong, healthy circulation, or quietly lets it decline, and that moment starts with your fork. You've probably been told to cut back on salt, drink less coffee, maybe avoid sugar, but no one ever told you that the right fruit, yes, fruit, can actually help restore blood flow to your lower regions naturally without pills or side effects. Or, in fact, clinical studies now show that certain fruits, when eaten at the right time in the morning, can significantly improve circulation to the pelvic area, increase nitric oxide production, and help your body regain the kind of confidence you thought you had lost for good. But here's the problem. Most men miss these fruits entirely. Instead, they start the day with a cup of coffee, maybe some toast or a pastry, or worse, nothing at all. And in doing so, they're missing the exact nutrients their body needs to fire up blood flow where it matters most. Over time, this silent habit compounds. And the result? Cold feet, sluggish mornings, less energy, less response, less you. One of my patients, a retired firefighter, once told me, "Doc, I can still lift a couch, but I can't lift my own confidence." That hit me hard, because it's not just about performance. It's about dignity, vitality, feeling like a man again. If any of this sounds familiar, if you've noticed morning firmness fading, or you've been feeling less like yourself lately, this video is for you. Because today I'm going to share the top 5 fruits that, when eaten in the morning, can help restore circulation in the areas that matter most. These are common fruits, affordable, no fads or gimmicks, just real foods that work with your body, not against it. Even more surprising, one of these fruits, often overlooked in the grocery store, has been shown to increase blood vessel flexibility in just 2 hours. That's right, not 2 months, 2 hours. And when combined with the right timing and a few simple habits, the effects compound. More warmth, more energy, more response. So if you've been wondering whether there's a natural way to support your manhood after 60, stay with me. Because what you put on your breakfast plate might just be the best decision you make all day, or even all year. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Lily Anderson. I'm a board-certified nutritionist and sexual health specialist, and for the past 22 years, I've helped thousands of men over 60 rediscover something they thought they had lost: control over their own bodies. You see, most of the men who walk into my office don't come in talking about blood flow or biochemistry. They come in because they feel like something's slipping away. Some say they don't feel like themselves anymore. Others say they've lost confidence in the bedroom, or that their relationship feels different, colder somehow. A few just want to stop feeling invisible. And more often than not, these issues trace back to one thing: circulation. Now, when people hear that word, circulation, they immediately think of the heart. But men's health is about more than just your heart beating. It's about where your blood is going, how easily it gets there, and whether it's delivering the oxygen, nutrients, and hormones your tissues need to stay alive, responsive, and strong. And the truth is, one of the most overlooked opportunities to fix poor circulation is what you eat first thing in the morning. Here's the good news: your body is designed to heal. Even if you've struggled with low energy, weak performance, or morning sluggishness for years, there's still a path forward, and it starts with what's on your plate. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful fruits that aren't just good for general health. These are specific science-backed tools that can enhance blood flow, improve endothelial function, increase nitric oxide production, and support testosterone signaling. In plain English, They help get more blood moving where it needs to go, especially down there. We'll break down each fruit one by one. I'll explain what's inside that makes it effective, how it supports your body's natural circulation pathways, and how to use it in a way that actually makes a difference. Not vague advice, not magic tricks, just science simplified and served in a way that makes sense for your life. And I want you to know, there is no judgment here. I'm not here to lecture you about what you should have done in your 40s or to make you feel bad for skipping breakfast the past 10 years. I'm here to give you tools that respect your time, your intelligence, and your experience. Tools that help you take back control. So whether you're looking for a way to naturally support your energy, improve your blood flow, or simply feel like yourself again, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you won't just have a list of fruits to try. You'll understand exactly why they work, how to use them, and how to turn your morning into a quiet daily act of restoration. Let's begin with the first fruit. It's small, dark, and more powerful than most pills on the market. Fruit number 1, blueberries, the circulation activator. Let's begin with what I call the circulation activator, blueberries. These tiny dark fruits are far more than just a topping for pancakes. In fact, they might be the single most important fruit a man over 60 can add to his morning. Why? Because blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, potent plant compounds that directly influence how your blood vessels behave. Studies show that consuming a cup of blueberries in the morning can improve something called flow-mediated dilation, or FMD. That's a fancy way of measuring how flexible your arteries are. And that flexibility determines how well blood can move through your body, including to your pelvic floor. Even more impressive? One clinical trial found that within just 2 hours of eating blueberries, arterial function improved measurably. This isn't a long-term maybe. It's an immediate effect. Now, why does this matter so much for men? Because after 60, nitric oxide levels naturally drop. That's the molecule your body uses to open up blood vessels and allow blood to flow into the groin. Blueberries help support nitric oxide by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which block nitric oxide from doing its job. How to use? Add 1 full cup of blueberries to your breakfast. You can use fresh or frozen. They have the same benefits. Mix them into oatmeal, blend them in a smoothie, or eat them straight with a spoon of Greek yogurt. Caution for seniors. Blueberries are low in sugar and vitamin K, but if you've had kidney stones in the past, stick with half a cup. They're slightly high in oxalates, which can contribute to stone formation in sensitive individuals. Fruit number 2, watermelon, the natural vasodilator. Next, let's talk about a fruit most people associate with summer picnics, but very few realize is a vascular powerhouse, watermelon. Watermelon contains a rare amino acid called citrulline, which your body converts into arginine, the direct precursor to nitric oxide. Citrulline bypasses the digestive blocks that limit arginine supplements, which means it's a more efficient way to raise nitric oxide levels naturally. And the best part? Watermelon is about 92% water, which means it's also incredibly hydrating. Hydration is critical for circulation. Without enough fluid in your bloodstream, your heart has to work harder to push blood through the system. That means less blood flow where you need it most. How to use? Cut 1 to 2 cups of watermelon and eat it within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. It works especially well when paired with a protein or fat source, like a boiled egg or a few almonds, to help stabilize blood sugar. Caution for seniors. Watermelon is high in natural sugar. If you're diabetic or insulin resistant, keep your portion small, about 1 cup, and pair it with something high in fiber or protein to avoid a blood sugar spike. Fruit number 3, pomegranate, the artery defender. If there's one fruit that deserves the title artery defender, it's the pomegranate. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenols, particularly punicalagins, which have been shown to improve blood vessel elasticity, reduce arterial plaque, and increase nitric oxide availability. One double-blind, placebo-controlled study found that drinking pomegranate juice daily improved erectile function scores in men with mild to moderate ED within just 4 weeks. But that's not all. Pomegranates also reduce oxidative stress in the endothelial cells, the lining of your blood vessels, protecting them from damage and supporting their ability to dilate properly. This is crucial because as we age, our endothelial function deteriorates, making it harder for blood to reach the pelvic region. How to use? Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of fresh pomegranate seeds, also called arils, to your breakfast. Sprinkle them over oatmeal, yogurt, or a fruit bowl. You can also drink 100% pure pomegranate juice. Just 4 ounces is enough. Caution for seniors. Pomegranate can interact with blood pressure medications and statins. If you're taking any prescription drugs, talk to your doctor before adding concentrated pomegranate juice to your diet. Fruit number 4, kiwi, the nitric oxide booster. Next on our list is kiwi, a small, fuzzy fruit that packs a serious punch when it comes to heart and sexual health. Kiwi is high in vitamin C, which plays a key role in protecting nitric oxide molecules from being destroyed by free radicals. Think of vitamin C like a bodyguard. It keeps your nitric oxide intact long enough to do its job, dilate your blood vessels, and increase blood flow. But that's not all. Kiwi also contains actinidin, an enzyme that supports digestion and reduces bloating, which many older men deal with. When your digestion is smooth, your body can better absorb the nutrients that support circulation. How to use? Eat 1 kiwi every morning, ideally on an empty stomach or as part of a fruit salad. For best results, eat the skin too. It contains extra fiber and antioxidants. Just wash it well. Caution for seniors. Kiwi is acidic and may cause discomfort for people with acid reflux. If that's you, try eating it after a few bites of oatmeal to buffer the acidity. Fruit number 5, strawberries, the testosterone supporter. Finally, we come to strawberries, one of the most accessible, delicious, and beneficial fruits for older men. Strawberries are loaded with flavonoids, especially quercetin and ellagic acid, which help reduce inflammation and improve vascular function. But what makes strawberries especially interesting is their ability to support testosterone levels indirectly by reducing something called aromatase activity, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. That means more of the testosterone your body produces stays active and available. Combine that with improved blood flow and you're looking at a powerful 1-2 punch for performance and confidence. How to use? Add 5 to 6 large strawberries to your breakfast plate. Slice them over Greek yogurt, mix into oatmeal, or enjoy them with a few walnuts for a heart-healthy combo. Caution for seniors. Strawberries are generally safe for most people. However, they're part of the dirty dozen in terms of pesticide residue. Always wash them thoroughly or buy organic when possible. Summary of the 5 fruits. Blueberries, rich in anthocyanins, improve artery flexibility and nitric oxide. Watermelon, high in citrulline, naturally boosts nitric oxide and hydrates. Pomegranate, contains punicalagins, reduces plaque and supports erectile function. Kiwi, high in vitamin C, protects nitric oxide and improves digestion. Strawberries, packed with flavonoids, supports testosterone and vascular health. Each of these fruits works in a slightly different way, but together they form a powerful morning toolkit for improving blood flow, especially where it matters most. In the next section, I'll show you what happened when one of my patients tried this routine for just a few weeks and why his results went far beyond the bedroom. Let me tell you about one of my patients. His name is Frank. He's 67 years old, a retired postal worker from Michigan, and one of the most soft-spoken, dependable men I've ever met. He came to my office after his wife gently nudged him to book an appointment. Not because something was seriously wrong, but because, in his own words, things just didn't feel right anymore. Frank wasn't in crisis. He didn't have a major diagnosis, but he felt disconnected, tired in the mornings, cold feet every night, and most importantly, He said the intimacy in his marriage had started to fade, not because of a lack of love, but because of a quiet sense of shame he couldn't quite explain. He wasn't performing like he used to. Morning arousal was rare, and the confidence he once had, the kind of quiet, unshakable energy that defines a man, was slipping through his fingers. During our first conversation, Frank told me something I've never forgotten. He said, "I feel like my body is slowly turning off the lights, one room at a time, and I don't know how to flip them back on." That hit me hard. We ran a few tests. No heart disease, no diabetes, no major red flags. But his blood markers showed low nitric oxide, borderline testosterone, and early signs of endothelial dysfunction, meaning his blood vessels weren't expanding the way they should. Not surprisingly, his circulation, especially in the pelvic region, was compromised. Now Frank was skeptical of pills. He didn't like the idea of taking something every day for the rest of his life just to feel normal. So I suggested something different. We built a simple morning routine, just 5 days a week. At breakfast, he added 1 cup of blueberries, half a cup of watermelon, 2 tablespoons of pomegranate seeds, 1 whole kiwi, skin and all, a few sliced strawberries over plain Greek yogurt. He called it his circulation bowl. Some mornings he blended it into a smoothie. Other days he just chopped everything and ate it with a spoon. No complicated rules, no hard measurements, just consistency. Within 2 weeks, Frank said he noticed something subtle. His feet weren't as cold at night. He had more energy walking up the stairs. His digestion felt lighter, more regular. By week 4, he told me this: "Doc, I woke up with something I hadn't seen in months, and my wife noticed too." We laughed, but I knew what that meant. His morning erections were returning, not because of medication, but because blood was finally moving again. His vessels were relaxing, his nitric oxide was climbing, his confidence was rising right alongside it. And it wasn't just physical. He said he felt more present in his relationship, more connected. He told me his wife had started smiling at him differently again, like they were back in their 40s, sharing quiet jokes only the two of them understood. We retested his flow-mediated dilation after 8 weeks. It had improved by 2.5%. That might sound like a small number, but in vascular science, that's real. That's the difference between fatigue and vitality, between hesitation and presence. Frank didn't change his life. He just changed his mornings. No pills, no procedures, just real food, eaten with purpose. Now, I can't promise everyone will have the same experience, but I can promise this: your body is listening to everything you put on your plate. And for men over 60, every bite either builds circulation or blocks it. Frank's story is not rare. I've seen this over and over. And the beauty is, it's never too late to begin. In the next section, we'll break down exactly why these fruits work so well, what's happening inside your body at the molecular level, and how they support the most important mechanism behind healthy function, nitric oxide. Let's dive into the science. Now that you've heard Frank's story, let's talk about why this works. What's happening inside your body when you eat the right fruits in the morning? And how exactly are they helping your blood flow return where you need it most? It all comes down to one molecule: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, or NO, is not a supplement. It's not a vitamin. It's a natural gas that your body makes to help your blood vessels relax and expand. Think of nitric oxide as the green light for circulation. Without it, your arteries stay tight, stiff, and narrow. With it, they open like smooth, flexible highways, allowing blood to move easily, especially to areas like your groin and pelvic floor, which rely on responsive blood flow for energy, confidence, and intimacy. Here's the catch. After age 60, your natural production of nitric oxide drops significantly. Some studies show that men in their 60s produce up to 75% less nitric oxide than they did in their 20s. That's not just about aging. It's about how your body loses its ability to generate this crucial molecule unless you actively support it. Now, you might be wondering, how do fruits come into play? The answer is in their unique chemical makeup. Each of the 5 fruits we covered contains specific compounds that boost nitric oxide in a slightly different way. Let's break it down. 1. Blueberries, supporting nitric oxide through anthocyanins. Blueberries are rich in a class of antioxidants called anthocyanins. These compounds protect the lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, from oxidative damage. When your endothelium is healthy, it produces more nitric oxide. But it gets better. Blueberries also reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity, both of which are enemies of nitric oxide. Think of anthocyanins as the shield that lets nitric oxide survive longer and do its job more effectively. Dusra, watermelon, generating nitric oxide through citrulline. Watermelon contains a compound called L-citrulline, which is converted in your kidneys into L-arginine. Arginine is a direct precursor to nitric oxide. It's the raw material your body uses to make more NO. The problem with many arginine supplements is that they break down before reaching your bloodstream. But citrulline bypasses that issue. It's absorbed more efficiently, and that means more raw fuel for nitric oxide creation. In fact, one study found that eating watermelon juice daily for just 2 weeks significantly improved blood vessel function and erectile response in older men. And unlike medication, it came with 0 side effects. 3. Pomegranate, preserving nitric oxide and reducing arterial stiffness. Pomegranate works a little differently. It contains powerful polyphenols, especially punicolagens, that do 2 things. First, they stimulate nitric oxide production inside your endothelial cells. Second, they inhibit enzymes that break down nitric oxide too quickly. This dual action makes pomegranate one of the most effective fruits for supporting long-term circulation. It doesn't just help you make more nitric oxide, it helps your body keep it longer, especially in areas where blood flow tends to weaken first. Your pelvic arteries. Pomegranate also helps lower arterial stiffness. That means your blood vessels become more flexible, more responsive, and more able to deliver oxygen-rich blood exactly where it's needed. 4. Kiwi, guarding nitric oxide with vitamin C. Vitamin C isn't just for colds. It plays a critical role in nitric oxide bioavailability. Your body produces nitric oxide using an enzyme called ENOS, endothelial nitric oxide synthase. But when your body is under oxidative stress, which increases with age, those nitric oxide molecules get destroyed before they can do any good. Vitamin C helps prevent that breakdown. It protects nitric oxide molecules, stabilizing them long enough to reach your blood vessels. That means kiwi, which is loaded with vitamin C, gives your nitric oxide a better shot at actually working. Additionally, kiwi supports microcirculation, those tiny blood vessels in your legs, feet, and yes, your groin, by reducing platelet stickiness and improving capillary flow. 5 strawberries, regulating hormones and enhancing nitric oxide action. Finally, strawberries support nitric oxide from a slightly different angle. They're rich in flavonoids, especially quercetin and ellagic acid, which are known for 2 powerful effects: reducing inflammation in blood vessels, inhibiting aromatase, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. By lowering aromatase activity, strawberries help you preserve more of your natural testosterone, which plays a synergistic role in sexual function and blood vessel responsiveness. In short, strawberries don't just help your arteries. They help your hormonal environment support circulation too. But what about the timing? Why morning? Great question. When you first wake up, your body is in what researchers call a pro-inflammatory state. Overnight fasting causes oxidative stress to rise, and your nitric oxide levels are at their lowest. This is the most vulnerable time for your circulation, especially if you're over 60. That's why eating circulation-friendly fruits within 60 minutes of waking makes such a difference. You're delivering antioxidants, polyphenols, hydration, and nitric oxide precursors right when your body needs them most. Think of it like charging your phone. You don't wait until it's dead at 5 p.m. You plug it in first thing in the morning so you have full power for the day. Your vascular system works the same way. When you eat the right fruits early in the day, you're setting the tone for healthy blood flow, steady energy, and better responsiveness. Not just in your brain and muscles, but in your most private systems too. And that's the key. These fruits aren't just healthy. They are targeted tools your body recognizes, absorbs, and uses to turn back the clock on vascular aging. Now that you know the science behind it all, let's shift gears. Because even with all this information, the real challenge is getting started and sticking with it. In the next section, I want to show you how even small, imperfect steps can lead to major change over time, and why it's never too late to rebuild the energy and confidence you deserve. Now, maybe you've made it this far and you're thinking, this all sounds great, but is it too late for me? Let me answer that with everything I have. No, it is not too late. I don't care if you're 62, 72, or even 85. I've seen men in their 80s make changes so small, so simple, that they surprised even themselves. Not just with how they felt physically, but how they felt about themselves. Because this is about more than blood flow. It's about reclaiming a part of you that life may have worn down. Look, I get it. When you've spent decades putting others first, your career, your family, your responsibilities, it's easy to let your own health slip to the side. You might even feel a little guilt about turning attention back on yourself. But let me remind you of something. Taking care of your body isn't selfish. It's an act of leadership, of love, of staying present for the people who still count on you, and for the parts of life that still light you up. And the truth is, change doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to throw out everything in your kitchen or start training for a marathon. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking they need to go all in, or it's not worth it. But your body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency, even if that consistency is small. 1 kiwi 3 mornings a week, a handful of blueberries on your oatmeal, a glass of water before your first coffee. These are not big, flashy gestures. They're tiny signals to your body. I'm still in the game. I'm still fighting. And when you do that, your body responds. Quietly at first. Maybe you'll notice your feet aren't as cold at night, or that you're not quite as winded going up the stairs. Maybe you'll wake up with a little more morning energy, a little more clarity, a little more you. The men I work with are not health fanatics. They're not gym rats or supplement junkies. They're regular men who just decided they weren't done yet. Like Greg, a 70-year-old grandfather from Ohio who started with one change, adding watermelon to his breakfast. After 2 months, his blood pressure dropped by 7 points, and he told me something I'll never forget. "Doc, I can finally keep up with my grandson again. That's worth more to me than any medication." Or James, a 65-year-old widower who had stopped dating because he didn't feel confident. He added blueberries and pomegranate to his routine, and 6 weeks later, he told me he'd started seeing someone new. He said, "It wasn't just the blood flow. It was the belief that I was still worth investing in. That's the real shift, not just in your body, but in your mindset." So I'm asking you right now, can you choose just one of these fruits tomorrow morning? Not because it will fix everything overnight, but because it's a start. Start with what feels easiest, something that fits into your life. Cut up a kiwi before breakfast, toss some frozen blueberries in a smoothie, or just swap your mid-morning snack for a handful of strawberries. And if you miss a day, so what? Get back to it the next day. This isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again until one day you wake up and realize you feel stronger, more awake, more in control than you have in years. This is what I want you to hear. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. You don't need a miracle. You just need a quiet routine that tells your body, we're still building. We're not done yet. So let this be your start, your quiet comeback. Because every man deserves to feel strong in his body. Every man deserves to feel confident in his skin. And every man deserves the chance to rewrite the story of his health, no matter how late he begins. Let's close this with something simple. Pick one fruit from today's video. Commit to eating it 3 times this week. Write it on a sticky note. Set a reminder. Put it on your shopping list. Just start. Your body is ready. Now it's your turn. In the next and final part of this video, I'll share a soft invitation, a gentle reminder of why we're here, and a way for you to help other men find the same support you just received. Stay with me for just a moment longer. If you're still here with me, thank you. That means something. It means you care. It means you're listening to your body. And maybe, just maybe, it means you haven't given up. And I want you to know I haven't given up on you either. So many men over 60 walk through life thinking decline is inevitable. That slowing down is the price of age. That confidence, intimacy, and energy belong to a younger version of themselves. But the truth? That version of you is still here. Maybe quieter, maybe tired, but not gone. He just needs the right tools to come back to life. And sometimes those tools aren't complicated. They're not in a bottle. They're not on a prescription pad. They're sitting right there, in your kitchen, in a bowl of blueberries, in a slice of watermelon, in the small, gentle choices you make first thing in the morning. You're not too late. You're right on time. Right now, you have a chance to make breakfast something powerful. Not just fuel, but therapy. Not just routine, but renewal. So here's what I'd love for you to do. If this video helped you, even a little, leave a comment below. Drop a 1 if you're ready to try one of these fruits this week, or drop a 0 if you're still unsure. I'll read it and I'll respond. This community isn't just about information. It's about connection, about giving men like you a space to be honest, curious, and hopeful again. And if you know someone, a brother, a neighbor, a friend, who might need this quiet reminder that he still has options, please share this with him. You never know what kind of difference that could make. You see, when one man decides to take better care of himself, it ripples outward. It affects his partner, his family, his sense of purpose. That kind of change doesn't just matter, it multiplies. And finally, if you'd like more videos like this, real science, real food, real hope, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, I share new insights designed for men over 60 who want to stay strong, vital, and deeply alive. This is not the end of your story. It's the next chapter. And it starts with something as simple as what's on your fork tomorrow morning. Thank you for trusting me with your time, with your health, with your hope. Take care of yourself. Take that first small step, and I'll see you in the next video.